Keeping with the idea of sometimes they just need to hear it from someone that's not you, we moved to the classroom. In my first year teaching high school, I came across a young man who was very angry, but he didn't know why. At first, we were getting to know one another. He always wanted to know workout tips from me. I did used to compete in athletics, and I still keep fit, even now into my 40s. He himself was chubby with little muscle, as is fairly normal for a sophomore. And the story I'm about to tell you is very commonplace for the next 10 years of my tenure as an educator. Lifting weights wasn't what helped him discover his anger, or change. An assignment was. I realize that may sound grandiose coming from a teacher, but I'll be very honest. I straight up hijacked it from the University of Toronto's psychology department and modified it for high schoolers. It's a self-authoring assignment where they have to ask themselves very specific questions, then hypothesize their best and worst futures. The questions are as follows. Number 1, what am I doing now that I know I should not be doing? Number 2, what am I not doing now that I know I should be doing? Number 3, what are my biggest fears and do they correlate with questions 1 or 2? Number 4, hypothesize the next 5 years of your life in vivid detail if you were to make all of the worst decisions possible. Hypothesize the next 5 years of your life in vivid detail if you were to make all the best decisions possible. Number 4 is a highlight here because that's the one this particular young man got hung up on. He spent days contemplating it, which is the point, to make them think. There's no research, no Googling, no AI cheating. No one knows you better than you know yourself. You just have to be willing to listen. It wasn't until many years later that he told me, but that question changed his life. We went from speaking about weightlifting to him being able to vent to me about his father always being gone. And that's why he was angry. His parents were very much still together, no broken home, as they say. But his father was a Boilermaker, so he was gone for work a lot. The boy felt cheated and that his father must not care about him. At least that's what he told me was the case, until he reflected on question 4. You see, he realized that if he made all the wrong decisions, primarily blaming his father, he would lose out on his own life. He would lose time being bitter rather than just becoming himself. These are his words. Furthermore, as he became competent in many things, carpentry, blacksmithing, writing, he even won a couple contests and scholarships for his writing. He realized that his father didn't dislike him or want to be away from him. His father was doing what he had to put food on the table. I never got to meet the man, his father, but I did meet his mother several times. She's literally one of the nicest humans on the planet. She hadn't a clue what her son was doing at a track meet, which was throwing, but she was there for it. She was there for him. She told me a great deal of what I'm telling you now and then thanked me. I'm not gloating. In fact, I dislike attention, which is why this entire thing is being published anonymously and under a pseudonym. But that feedback, her graciousness, that made everything worth it. It always does. Unfortunately, I've not heard from this particular one in about a year, but that's because he and his girlfriend went off to college together. I'll likely hear from him during the next big holiday as per usual. But the lesson here is to be patient. I knew he was angry and I could see it. I saw myself in him, the same look I had for years after my father died when I was 16. I know better than to assume anything from my days as a cop, but something was visibly off. After just a few short months, this boy started his journey to becoming a man. He was competent, independent, and happy. He even became sort of a peer to me. And that's the thing. I don't see my students or children as forever kids. Sure, there'll always be that capacity in our memories, but at some point they become my peers, sometimes even my friends.